And we're back to continue our Saw-a-thon with part 4 in this series. Now, at the end of the last series, Jigsaw was definitely dead. His accomplice, apprentice, Amanda, was also dead. And going into part 4, trying to figure out how the hell are they going to keep this franchise alive? They've just killed off the big bad guy. They've killed off his apprentice. Where's it going to go to? And initial thoughts kind of led me to back into the prequel city territory, or back into like Jigsaw's history. It kind of mixes around that elements of the movie, but this main story starts off very particularly with the autopsy of John Kramer Jigsaw, just to let you know that yes, he is in fact dead after the events of part 3. You have Detective Hoffman listening to a tape that's found inside Jigsaw, and it alludes to another game that's being played. This one involves Lieutenant Riggs, a character that's been with us since part 2, and in part 3 he kind of takes over the mainstay, and the story's about him and him rushing into situations without fully thinking them through. You have the introduction of Agent Stram and Perez, who come in from the FBI to try and help Hoffman discover what is going on here with Jigsaw, who is playing these games now that Jigsaw and Amanda are now definitely dead. They are dead, they're not coming back. So you get the demise of older characters, you get the introduction of new characters in Stram and Perez. You have Detective Matthews back in the fray once more, and it explains through reveals and things how this becomes that he is still alive and around. So full spoiler warnings for a movie that you've probably already seen. It becomes at the end that it's almost like a reboot, because they create a new apprentice for Jigsaw that we've never heard of before. The reason we've never heard of him before is because they're starting to shoehorn things into this almost becoming muddled storyline that they are creating here. It's still nice how they do it and allude to parts 1, 2 and 3 in the pace of doing it. One of the best twists or reveals at the end of the movie is that this is in fact going on at the same time as part 3. It's a nice little twist and something I wasn't expecting, and it just gave the movie a little bit of a reveal. This has got the biggest budget of any Saw movie, and it looks like it as well. They really go the full hog. It's not just the 1 or 2 locations, it's gone through several locations. It's got multiple characters, lots of loose threads. And of course it's Tobin Bell as Jigsaw as well in flashback mode, and it's very nice to see him. He is our main man. He is Jigsaw. He's the guy that epitomises the bad guy, if you want to call him that. He is technically bad, although I have alluded to the fact that he is testing people's ability or will to survive and to live. I find this one not to be as gory as the other ones, and thankfully for that matter it kind of steps back a little bit, apart from that autopsy scene, which is clinically disgusting. The way they have this life-size model of John Kramer taking parts out of him, discovering secrets within his body. It's nice. I like the fact that it layers up the characters, introduces new ones while it deals with old ones as well. It puts the final nail in the coffin of Detective Matthews' storyline from part 2. Man, what a few months that guy had. But I think the best thing about part 4 does is it really creates a mystery. This is the first time we've had a mystery since part 1. Who is the killer? Who is doing all behind all this? You get the opening scene, and then you never hear from that character again, and you're like, what's happening there? Was that the introduction of a new apprentice, or is that something else that alludes to later on? It's very well done, and it's, like I said, it's only one of the few Saw movies that has that mystery element about it. It's one of the longer Saw movies as well, and I do kind of like part 4, but I do feel as if we're starting to get to that edge of diminishing returns. It's really, you can see the tricks appearing on screen. You can see that it's all about reveals. It's all about the gore, although it's not as heavy here. It's about creating new characters who are going to move into the next episode. It's starting to feel like a TV series, not so much like a movie franchise, as in this is episode 4. Next will be episode 5, who will take some of the characters that survive here and we'll put them through some torturous things in the next episode. Still, watching it all condensed and all together, I like all the nods to the previous versions. I like some of the traps, although it's not my main thing, and therefore I like the story of Jigsaw and how it's still making him an iconic character. Not 100% sold on Hoffman, but it's a nice reveal at the end of the movie. I do like that, and overall it's still a pass mark. It's still a movie that I enjoyed. This is the last time that Darren Lynn Bousman would be in the director's chair, and I'm not really too sure. I can't really remember too much about the other ones, but I'm interested to get to parts 5, 6 and 7 before we get the next Jigsaw. And yeah, overall, it's a positive experience. I still enjoyed this movie. I gave it 3 out of 5. It is definitely a pass mark for me. Have you seen Saw 4? What did you think of it? Did you like the mystery aspect? Do you like the fact that Detective Hoffman has now become Jigsaw 3? Yeah? Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs. Film.